Excellent. And so it's really invaluable to be able to go back to our speakers and check them out. They're usually up, certainly within a day or two, online, ready to go for you to see if you want to be reminded about what happened on the Sunday, or you want to go back a few weeks. That's good too. All right. There you go. So now we're going to welcome the very fabulous Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa speaker and member, our friend, Carrie Hartwick, to talk to you about something very powerful. And I'll let her share that with you. You. Now they can hear you. Okay. I'm going to get that over here. Oh, right here. Sorry. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see everybody too. This is my first hybrid performance, so let it begin. I recently came across a copy of Stratton Smith's 4T Prosperity book. I was ecstatic, and I mean really happy. It is the book that helped me to fall in love with unity. It was a 12-week spiritual prosperity course rooted in New Thought principles that teaches us not only to put God first, but to release limiting beliefs and cultivate abundance through tithing of time, talent, and treasure. I believe I took this course 3 times. And each time I would come away with a deeper spiritual awareness, improved relationships, increased financial security, and overall life transformation. This was back in the mid-90s. I was just beginning to see and feel that being prosperous was a wonderful way of being. For instance, I was able to understand my deep desire. Sorry. Okay, so I was beginning to understand my deep desire to learn about my spiritual truth, and as I uncovered the truth, I began to listen to my inner wisdom that it was okay to trust others. Most of my trust at that time was reserved for professionals in my life, and I would resist peer or community help. But I began to have better relationships and meeting new friends. I was able to choose loving and caring friends that supported me, and I learned how to support them. Today, I rarely see my professional, and I have many people in my life that I call friends, including my Unity community. I also had an aha moment when I realized that just having more money to buy more material things was not going to make me happy. As I was reading the lessons, sorry, I'm not on my own computer today. Oops. As I was reading through the lessons and reflecting on lessons learned of prosperity, and thought perhaps I need to review my prosperity thinking. As I started to think of that, I realized that I have more wisdom now than I did in my mid-90s when I took the courses. So why not look at how wisdom and prosperity can work together? In the teachings of unity, Wisdom and prosperity are not separate, but two movements of the same spiritual law. Wisdom is that inner spirit that discerns divine order. This wisdom arises as quiet knowing through prayer and silence. Prosperity is the natural result of living in the knowing. This is really important, so I will repeat that. Prosperity is the natural result of living in the knowing that is wisdom arising from within. Uh, When we align our thoughts, choices, and action with divine wisdom, we cooperate with an infinite source of substance already present within us and around us. It then becomes our guide, our way of living, an internal source sucking to none. In my view, essentially, prosperity is not something we chase. It's something that unfolds as consciousness comes to harmony with truth. And wisdom is not just intelligent. It is spiritual discernment and intuitive knowing. The ability to hear and act on the truth from within. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity Church, along with his wife Myrtle, said this about wisdom, that it's the known faculty of mind, meaning the ability to perceive ideas and apply them accurately. Wisdom is also one of the 12 creative powers that reflect the divine potential in all of us. Through affirmative prayer, meditation, inner alignment, you learn to discern what is true and how to live from that place. Wisdom is not just intellect, not positive thinking alone, and not spiritual enthusiasm alone. In unity metaphysics, wisdom is often symbolized by King Solomon in the Bible. God came to Solomon in a dream and asked King Solomon what he would like, and he shall receive it. Now, King Solomon was a really wealthy king. And as he thought about it, he asked for an understanding heart to judge your people and to discern between good and evil. And that from 1 King, chapter 3, verse 9. God gave him the wisdom to do so. King Solomon put God first. And he understood his responsibility to his people as a king. And Unity also points out that prosperity followed wisdom, not the other way around. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added. From Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. When I first started taking the prosperity course in the mid-90s, I was not in my best place. But somehow I was beginning to trust my inner self, what was inside, to discover my truth. And there was this thing from Unity, thought how the mind produced after their kind. So I was a little daunted with that phrase for a while. But when I asked out my inner wisdom to stay with the program and learn to trust, this was the beginning of realizing that things could be better for me. I didn't need to stay stuck in negative thinking. I started to realize that little light flickering inside of me was hope, hope of a better life. Here I was ready to examine, where am I still operating from old prosperity conditionings? Where have I confused control with faith? Where do I need deeper discernment instead of affirmation? And to help me with my new understanding, I was able to see technology. And to help me with my new understanding, I brought in wisdom. And with wisdom refining prosperity, I was able to see that growth is layered. I know that one understanding will lead to another and another to reach my best possible outcome. Healing is non-linear. I didn't know at first what direction to take to ensure my greater unfolding. I was guided step by step to each invaluable experience. Prosperity includes emotional wholeness. I needed to up-level my awareness of my emotions and what they were asking of me. Spiritual law operates through compassion, not shame. And in this awareness, I was able to accept where I was and what I needed to do now, without attachment to old beliefs of perfection and idealism. I have been down this road many times, and often I would choose the difficult route. But that's where I learned wisdom. I recently came to a crossroads a few weeks ago when I wondered out loud in fellowship and said that I didn't love myself and that I was not good enough for God's treasures. I'd like to rectify that statement now. I have been loving myself and my surroundings. Yeah. I had this little voice that would tell me I was no good, I was not worthy, and I was unlovable. And I believed nothing was going to change that. It felt like it would part of me wearing glasses. No wonder I've been having fear at times. I find that in the morning, when I start thinking of great things ahead, my fear would shoot up. Like a little voice tugging my shirt to say, we don't like that. We're not worthy of great things. From these negative thoughts, I was starting to get exceptionally frustrated with that little voice. What I was learning was incredibly profound and supportive. Unity teaches prosperity as a spiritual principle, not merely accumulating money or possessions. Here are some of these principles. The universe is inherently abundant. There's enough good for everyone. That includes money, health, creativity, and love. Your consciousness shapes your experience. Thoughts of lack can block your good, while a mindset of abundance opens you to it. Affirmative prayer and positive thinking help shift your consciousness from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude, visualization, and service are not just feel-good ideas. They're practices that align your mind with the spiritual reality of prosperity. Giving and service are not about transactional rewards, but embracing that flow of abundance. The focus is on aligning the focus is on aligning with the higher purpose and living in a way that reflects your divine nature. Material or financial good is the result of that alignment. And Catherine Ponder had a quote, "You can open your mind to prosperity when you realize that prosperity is a necessity for your spiritual growth, because prosperity gives you freedom to unfold spiritually." For example, when you join wisdom and prosperity, you can see that, one, wisdom clarifies desire. Not every goal is aligned. Wisdom can purify motive. Wisdom orders action. Prosperity is not passive. It requires the right timing, boundaries, and intelligent movement. And I like this one. Wisdom tempers zeal. Enthusiasm without discernment burns out. Wisdom can sustain. I can relate to that. I would be so gung-ho about a project, be all enthusiastic, and maybe a week or two later, I burnt out. So I've been working on that one. Wisdom keeps prosperity from turning into ego. True abundance is measured by how much we serve, not how important we feel. Wisdom redefines prosperity beyond money. Peace of mind, emotional regulation, healthy relationships, stability, these are not side benefits. They are prosperity. So perhaps the real message of prosperity is simple and deeper than we first imagined. When we allow divine wisdom to guide our thoughts, heal our old beliefs, and shape our choices, life naturally begins to reorganize itself to the greater good. Prosperity then becomes more about money or possession. It becomes a peace of mind, renewed self-worth, loving relationship, and quiet confidence that God's good is always unfolding in our lives. The small voice that once whispered, "Not enough," slowly becomes the inner wisdom that says, "You are already part of the abundance of God." And when wisdom leads in that way, prosperity, true prosperity, cannot help but follow. Today, I call upon you to consider the wisdom stuff in your life that you recognize from within that are already lifting up into your prosperity. Perhaps there is some more wisdom you can call forth through that small inner voice. And may that little inner voice guide you even further into the multi-layers of prosperity that you are designed to experience. Let that inner light guide you. I'm just going to take a drink of water, and then I will ask you to join me in a gentle meditation. Take a gentle breath. Let the body relax. Return within to the presence of God, the one infinite, intelligent substance from which all good flows. There is no lack in this presence, and there is no limitation in this choice. In the quiet We release every belief and limitation and fear. We let them go. We withdraw our faith from it. Lack had no law, no power, no reality in me. Now we listen. In stillness, divine wisdom arises, clear and calm. Truth reveals itself naturally. The wisdom of God is active in me now. Prosperity begins at the right idea. We are open and receptive to divine ideas that guide right action, right use, and right supply. Divine ideas govern my life and affairs. We gently align consciousness with spiritual truth. We welcome the truth. Divine substance flows freely in my life. I am supplied according to divine law. Wisdom directs the use of all that I receive. Prosperity moves through us. We are willing to act on what wisdom reveals, step by step, without fear or force. I joyfully cooperate with divine order. In divine order, nothing is wasted. We bless what we have and allow good to circulate. Giving and receiving are one moment of life. As I give freely, I receive freely. Thank you, God, for wisdom guiding every detail, for abundance and right form, and for peace and trust. Prosperity is a state of awareness. We return slowly from the silence with wisdom, clarity, and calm assurance. Prosperity flows through us as naturally as breath. And so it is.